Did you know that sympathy is not to play any part in your medical malpractice lawsuit in the state of New York? You didn't know that? Come join me as I share with you exactly why sympathy is not to play any part in your case. Hi, I'm Jerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. Now, when you suffer a significant injury, obviously you're going to have injury and disability as a result of whatever was done wrong. And during the course of the litigation, we're going to have to explain to the defense, to the lawyers who represent the doctors in the hospital, exactly how your injuries have affected you, what disabilities you have from the time of the incident up until the time of trial, as well as for the foreseeable future. Now, one thing you may not know is that during jury selection, the defense lawyer will most likely turn to the potential jurors and say, ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that you cannot make any award based upon your sympathy? Do you realize that sympathy is to have nothing to do with this case and your decisions? Now, at the end of the case, after the trial is finished, before the jury reaches its verdict, the judge will be telling the jury, giving them instructions on what the law is in the state of New York. And one of the key instructions that they give to the jury is that sympathy is not to play any role in deciding whether or not there was wrongdoing and whether or not the wrongdoing caused injury and what type of injuries you suffered, as well as how much to award if they feel that the person you have sued is responsible. Now, why does that happen? Well, the reality is that anybody is going to feel sympathetic once they start learning about the injuries that you've suffered, especially if they're significant, if they're catastrophic, if they prevented you from doing your daily activities. And we all have that natural tendency to feel sympathy, to feel empathy. You know, you feel bad when you hear about a tragedy. But the jury is specifically told, ladies and gentlemen, you are not to make any award or decision based upon your feelings of sympathy. So if they can't make an award based upon sympathy, what can they make the award based on? Well, it's supposed to be based on the evidence. What does the evidence show? What is the testimony shown about what your injuries have done to you and to your family? What can you no longer do? What are you limited from doing? What are you disabled from doing? And then you're supposed to use your common sense to determine what the value is of those particular injuries and how it has affected you and your family. And that's a significant component of any lawsuit involving claims for injuries suffered because of somebody else's wrongdoing. So when you hear somebody tell you, oh, I feel terrible about what happened, yes, everybody's going to have those feelings. But during the course of the lawsuit, during the course of the trial, the jury is going to be told, ladies and gentlemen, sympathy should play no part in your decision in this case. And you know what? As the attorney who represents injured victims, I tell them right off the top during jury selection, I said, we're not here for sympathy. I don't want a handout from my client. My client doesn't need it. They have all the sympathy they need from their friends and family. Instead, they're here asking for justice, full and fair justice for the injuries that they suffered. And then I go ahead and explain what those injuries are. So why do I share this information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on here in a medical malpractice lawsuit in the state of New York. Chances are you're watching this, you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. What I suggest you do, if your matter happened here in the state of New York, is pick up the phone and call me. I answer legal questions like yours every single day, and I'd be happy to talk with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Jerry Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.